Hey, Danny Lee here, joining the conversation. I'm in a car in Poland. I'm watching a car while my family members are out at an appointment in the hospital. So it's locked, and I'm just kind of waiting for them to get back. That's why it's all dark. I don't have the key right now, so I can't turn on the light or anything. So it's dark. So this will be mostly just audio. Not that my other videos aren't more than that. It's not about looking at my face. It's about listening what I have to say. At least that's my purpose here. Anyway, so my idea. I just was listening to a debate on Unbelievable podcast, which is one I recommend. And this happened earlier, and I can't remember who the two debaters were. But one of the things they talked about was you cannot choose what you're convinced by. And if you're convinced by something, isn't that in and of itself somehow deterministic? If so, how does free will play into that? How does God play into that? And I'd have to say I do take the position, at least unless I work on it more and change, but as of now, with the information and the reasoning that I have now, I do take the position that if I'm convinced by something, if I believe something, I didn't choose that I was approached by that idea, that I came up against that idea, and that it convinced me. And that is an interesting thing to think about. However, I have had many thoughts and convictions and beliefs and opinions over time that I have changed based on the evidence that I look at. And that's why I think, going back to my video that I did last 2 days ago, I think that there's a pretty good argument for, and this is an argument I want to build, and I'm going to need maybe some help if you have any comments to push me along, any critiques. I think it's reasonable to start down the path of working on this argument of that it's possible we live in a deterministic universe, and I believe one of the synonyms to that is finite. I think that it being finite in many ways leads to it being deterministic. That's something I can analyze later, but that's one thing that's not necessary to the purpose, to the position. But I believe that we are I don't necessarily believe this, but I can put this forth. The theory that we are in a deterministic universe, deterministic things happen to us, but we are from outside the universe. Soul, as it were, the soul is eternal. It exists before the Big Bang, and it can go after the universe is died away. And we have a purpose. We are to grow and to learn, and the only way to do that is to be in this finite universe, in this position where we're presented with all these things. And sure, I didn't choose that I was born into a Mormon family. I didn't choose that I was raised that way, but I definitely can look at the evidence and choose to leave it or to not. And that's the choice I can make, and I can reason my way in and out of either side. So that's true as well. I think anybody can be convinced that there's a God, and anybody can be convinced that there's not a God. I think that's true as well. I think an atheist could be converted, and I think a fervent believer can lose their faith. I think all of that is true. I think all these options and positions are possible, but I don't think that any of that conflicts with my growing theory of that we are indeterminate, or that's not the right term. I'll have to come up with a better term, not indeterminate, but we are in a determinate universe, but we are free agents in this determinate universe, and we are learning how to use our agency. That's part of it, because we don't start off as a complete free agent. We're a child. We are in need, and even as adults, we are still children in our infancy in this thing we want to call agency. So that's my thought for today. Let me know if you have any thoughts, or if you have anything you want to direct me to that can help me build this as a theory. And I'll talk to you next time.